test you to see what's in your heart. Don't he already know? And then see what kind of answer you're going to get. And then examine the person's reasoning. This is why I will say, like religion does something to the thinking and the mind, because you can pose those type of questions and you're going to get some sort of weird type response that because the person can't answer the question in some kind of way, you're going to get attacked or you're going to get demonized or something like this for utilizing common sense reasoning that the creator of the balanced universe gave you. I did this poem, and I'm going to do it for y'all again. I wrote a poem. And this is a poem about me having a conversation with the devil. It's a poem about me having a conversation with the devil. All right, I'm in the devil. We're talking because, and it's a lesson to teach you because there is a moral to the story. And I did incorporate my knowledge in this particular poem. So on the face of the poem, it's going to see like it's a Christian type thing. And I guess, it is. I guess what? This is the thing. I am Christian in the sense that I teach real Christianity because I teach what Jesus actually said. I don't go into what Paul said. The fake Christians, they put Paul before Jesus. They use Jesus' name, but they put Paul before Jesus. They follow everything. They always say Jesus, 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 but they quoting Paul, Paul, Paul. They don't, quote Jesus and use Jesus first. They kind of do it that way. So I did this poem, and what it's about this dichotomy in our thinking as opposed to this good and evil and this God and the devil and all of this kind of stuff. Because we got to address this devil. I like, once again, how Reverend Ike said that the devil is mind's misunderstanding of God, being that you are the God. What that means is when he says that, he says you don't understand that you are creating your world constantly, and that this devil that you're claiming is really you. You're the devil because you're creating this. And it's coming back at you, and you're not recognizing it, that it is your own thoughts that are attacking you. Like Buddha said, you will suffer to the degree that you blame outside circumstances. Well, let me kick this poem for you. Y'all want to hear this poem I wrote? Some of y'all probably, I did it before. Y'all want to hear this poem? Y'all want to hear this poem I wrote? I wrote a poem on, I'm going to say it for y'all again, and this is about a conversation that I had with the devil. It's me and the devil having a conversation. And it starts off like this. It's like, one day I was in deep meditation and I received a visit from Satan, the father of hate. And he wanted to have this conversation, which ended up with us debating. But anyway, he started off by stating that, yo, Joe, I've been waiting to talk to you. I've been watching you now for 45 years. I know all your hopes, your dreams, your fears, all your laughter and your tears, and I've come to this conclusion about you. I said, what? He said, you do have somewhat of a brain between those two ears. Which is why I want to ask you something. And I said, what? He said, are you happy with the state of your existence? And I said, well, of course, but the devil is known for his persistence. And he said, look, you know and I know that you know and I know that you desire certain things. Like the images you see in your magazines and in your TV screens, fat cars, diamond rings, big booty African queens. Life fit for a king. You know what I mean. But look at you. You're living life barely getting by while your friends are out hitting skins, getting high, while you're sitting here contemplating life, asking yourself why. With what? Maybe another 45 more years until you die? You deserve the good life. This you can't deny. And I know that you want it, so tell me, why you keep telling yourself a lie? So So I said, well, that sounds all good, and if I could get it, I would. But right now, I'm locked down in the hood, and I got mouths to feed. I barely got time to read. How am I gonna get what I want when I can barely get what I need? And he said, take heed, because I'm about to school you in the art of seduction and show you the finer points of corruption, so you can live the good life without interruption. You see, since the dawn of man's creation, I've made his happiness my single occupation. Oh, forgive me. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lucifer. I'm the man that shakes nations. If comfort and pleasure is what you truly do treasure, simply bow down and worship me, and I'll give you riches beyond measure. And I said, never get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, I shall never bow down before you, no matter how tempting. I worship God only, and to only he shall I listen. So please get out of my face, for your ass come up missing. So he started laughing. He says, you know what? That was spoken very eloquent. You sound just like someone I know who was heaven sent. But I wonder, will you have the same sentiment when next week you can't pay your rent? He said, look, you can act like you content and act like you got all the sense. But you and I both know that the only God you truly worship is on this dead president. He said, look, Joe, God is anything or anyone who's in control. And I said, whoa, what profit a man to gain the whole world when he can lose his own soul? And then he said, what guarantees do you have that heaven is everything you was told? He said, you can't even contemplate something as simple as the nature of electricity. Yet when it comes to heaven and hell, you're quick to question me. He said, oh, how I marvel at the mortal psyche whose true gods are Adidas, Reebok, and Nike. Hypocrite, you know you're just like me. He said, look, I only want to give you everything you desire, so tell me, why you want to fight me? So I thought about it for a second, and I said, well, look, how can you give me what you don't even own? Even your very own existence is given to you on loan. It is written that man shall not live by just bread alone, and he shall surely reap for every seed that is sown. Time flows like water, here today, then it's gone. And I got no more time for idle chatter, so please, please get the hell on. So the devil, he gets a little upset at this point. And he said, man, look here. He said, you think you righteous because you sitting here quoting biblical texts? You'd flip the script like a hypocrite if I started talking about sex. These things that you seek, you most surely won't find, because when it comes to mankind, the blind surely leads the blind. You interpretate something literal without reading between the lines. You choose to walk this straight and narrow road without reading all the signs. Fool, look around you. Everything you see in this world is mine. So keep praying to your invisible God, because you're just wasting your time. So I thought about that for a second, and I said, you know what? True, true, true. You are the master of the physical and every desire for the material. But me, I'm on a quest for the spiritual. I'm seeking that conscious and subconscious connection, because I know that's where God answers all my questions and judges my confessions and gives me all my blessings. You see, I understand that God helps those who help themselves because God is in me. And that's why knowledge of self is the only key and the only truth that'll make you free. You see, fame and fortune are temporary and hard times are necessary. And I know my final resting place is a long way beyond the cemetery. I know that hell is just a state and willpower decides fate, and life is just a classroom and death is just a gate. So never will I bereave when I know that I can achieve anything in this world my mind can conceive, and that nothing is the goal, and having faith in what I believe. So while you seek to deceive, causing every heart to grieve, I'm my brother's keeper when in need, because I was brought here to give and not just to receive. And with that, the conversation ended as he turned to walk away. But then he stopped to look back and smiled as if he had something else to say. But all he did was smile, which left this chill down my spine. And then there came this powerful flash of light that temporarily left me blind. But as my vision slowly returned, I saw something that made me thought I'd lost my mind. Because where there was once the face of the devil was one that looked exactly like mine. And then the realization hit me that made the answers to life much clearer. That the devil that each of us must conquer is the one looking back at you in the mirror. The name of that poem is Reflections, y'all. And